Humanity had achieved what was once thought impossible, the colonization of multiple star systems. It began with tentative steps, as intrepid explorers ventured beyond the confines of Earth, propelled by dreams of discovery and the promise of a brighter future among the stars. Advancements in space travel technology paved the way for humanity's expansion, as sleek starships traversed the vast expanse of space, carrying settlers to distant worlds ripe for colonization. Each new planet brought with it a sense of wonder and possibility as pioneers forged new lives on alien soil, their ingenuity and resourcefulness tested by the challenges of terraforming and adaptation. Over time, these isolated colonies grew and prospered, forming the backbone of a burgeoning interstellar civilization. Trade routes crisscrossed the galaxy, linking distant worlds in a web of commerce and cultural exchange. Cities rose from the barren deserts of Mars and the icy plains of Europa, their skylines reaching towards the heavens as testaments to humanity's indomitable spirit. Yet, with every new frontier conquered, humanity became increasingly aware of its place in the cosmos. They were not alone. Other sentient beings inhabited the galaxy, their civilizations ancient and enigmatic, their motives shrouded in mystery. Among them were the Zyglorians, a formidable race whose dominions spanned countless star systems. The Zyglorians were a species of highly advanced beings, their civilization having flourished across the galaxy for millennia. Their technology was a testament to their ingenuity and scientific prowess, surpassing anything humanity had ever encountered. Zyglorian technology was characterized by its elegance and efficiency, each invention a masterpiece of design and engineering. Their starships were marvels of advanced propulsion systems and energy shielding, capable of traversing the vast distances of space with ease. Powered by exotic energy sources and guided by sophisticated navigation systems, Zyglorian vessels were the envy of the galaxy. Zyglorian warships bristled with energy weapons and particle cannons, their firepower capable of reducing entire planets to smoldering ruins. In the hands of a skilled pilot or gunner, a Zyglorian starfighter was a force to be reckoned with, capable of outmaneuvering and outgunning even the most advanced human craft. One fateful day, without warning, Zyglorian warships descended upon the solar system. Their arrival heralded a devastating display of force. Entire cities reduced to rubble in mere minutes, millions of lives lost in the blink of an eye. Earth's leaders found themselves confronted with an unimaginable scenario: war against an implacable and advanced extraterrestrial species. As humanity faced the overwhelming might of the Zyglorian forces, a sense of determination and unity swept across the system. Leaders from every corner set aside their differences, rallying together to confront the existential threat looming overhead. In laboratories and research facilities, the brightest minds in science and engineering worked tirelessly to develop technologies capable of turning the tide of war. Cutting-edge advancements in weaponry and defensive systems were pursued with unprecedented urgency. Quantum cannons capable of tearing through Zyglorian shields were designed, while experimental energy shields were engineered to protect Earth's cities from orbital bombardment. Meanwhile, shipyards across the planets hummed with activity as massive warships were constructed at an unprecedented pace. These vessels, bristling with advanced weaponry and reinforced with state-of-the-art armor, represented the pinnacle of human engineering. From sleek, agile frigates to hulking behemoths capable of standing toe-to-toe with the Zyglorian dreadnoughts, every ship was a testament to humanity's determination to defend their home at any cost. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of humanity's response to the Zyglorian threat was the transformation of its military. Soldiers were trained with a level of intensity and rigor never before seen. pushed to the limits of their physical and mental capabilities in preparation for the battles to come. Special Forces units honed their skills in stealth and sabotage, while frontline troops underwent grueling combat simulations designed to simulate the harsh realities of war. Every aspect of Earth's defense was meticulously planned and executed with no detail overlooked in the quest for victory. From the coordination of ground forces to the deployment of orbital defense platforms, every element of humanity's military machine was brought to bear against the Zyglorian invaders. The conflict raged on for weeks, each side suffering heavy losses. The skies were ablaze with the fury of combat as starships traded devastating barrages of energy fire. On the ground, amidst the chaos of battle, the streets of every planet in the solar system ran crimson with the blood of those who fought for their homes and loved ones. Yet, even in the face of despair, humanity refused to yield. The spirit of defiance burned brightly within them, a beacon of hope amid the darkness of war. They fought not just for survival, but for the right to determine their own destiny. As the tide of battle ebbed and flowed across the solar system, a turning point emerged. Human ingenuity and resourcefulness began to tip the scales in their favor. They adapted Zyglorian technology, repurposing it to suit their own needs. Guerrilla tactics and asymmetric warfare became their weapons of choice, exploiting weaknesses in the Zyglorian war machine with surgical precision. The Zyglorians, accustomed to swift and decisive conquest, found themselves increasingly frustrated by humanity's resilience. Their initial confidence wavered in the face of an enemy that refused to be crushed. They had expected an easy victory, but instead encountered a foe that fought tooth and nail for every inch of ground. As the conflict between humanity and the Zyglorians reached its most critical juncture, humanity decided to take the initiative and launch a daring offensive that would alter the course of the war. After enduring relentless assaults and witnessing the devastation wrought upon their planets, humanity's leaders knew that a decisive move was necessary to turn the tide in their favor. The offensive was meticulously planned, drawing upon the expertise of military strategists, intelligence analysts, and technological innovators. Every aspect of the operation was carefully coordinated, from the timing of the assault to the deployment of troops and resources. The goal was clear: to strike at the heart of the Zyglorian forces and break their resolve once and for all. Humanity's forces gathered at strategic locations throughout the solar system, their ranks bolstered by newly constructed warships and battle-ready soldiers. With grim determination, they prepared to launch their assault on the Zyglorian armada, knowing that the outcome of the battle would determine the fate of their civilization. As the offensive began, humanity's forces surged forward with unparalleled ferocity. Waves of starfighters and bombers streaked through the void of space, their weapons blazing as they tore into the ranks of the Zyglorian fleet. The once mighty armada found itself overwhelmed by the sheer volume of firepower unleashed by humanity's forces, struggling to mount an effective defense against the relentless onslaught. On the ground, human troops launched daring raids and lightning-fast strikes against Zyglorian strongholds and outposts. Their movements were swift and coordinated, catching the enemy off guard and exploiting weaknesses in their defenses. As the battle raged on, the tide of war turned decisively in humanity's favor, with Zyglorian forces falling back in disarray under the relentless assault. Despite their technological superiority, the Zyglorians found themselves unable to withstand the ferocity of human resistance. Their once unstoppable war machine faltered under the relentless barrage of firepower unleashed by humanity's forces, their ranks decimated by the sheer determination and tenacity of their adversaries. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, humanity emerged victorious, having delivered a decisive blow to the Zyglorian forces. The once mighty armada lay in ruins, its ranks scattered and demoralized by the ferocity of humanity's assault. It was a moment of triumph for humanity, a testament to their resilience and resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. The daring offensive not only turned the tide of the war, but also served as a rallying cry for humanity's forces. It was a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, they were capable of achieving victory through courage, determination, and unity. And as they stood amidst the wreckage of their enemies, humanity knew that they had proven themselves worthy of their place among the stars. Realizing the futility of continued conflict, the Zyglorians reluctantly agreed to a ceasefire. Both sides were exhausted, their resources depleted by the protracted war. For the first time since the conflict began, there was a glimmer of hope for peace. Negotiations began in earnest, mediated by neutral parties from across the galaxy. Despite the scars of war, humanity remained resolute in their determination to secure a better future for themselves and their descendants. They demanded reparations for the devastation wrought upon their planets and assurances that such a conflict would never happen again. In the end, a peace treaty was signed, marking the conclusion of the First Contact War. Humanity emerged victorious, having defied the odds and proven their worth to the galaxy. The Zyglorians, humbled by their defeat, extended an offer of friendship and cooperation. They recognized the resilience and courage of humanity and saw in them a potential ally in their quest for galactic unity.